Welcome, everyone, to the Game 5 post-game. Rangers Ed here. This is Cousin Ed with Little Ed and Coach Ed on the ground, waiting for their train. We got Mikey Produces over there. What's up, Mikey?
What's up? Not a good night, but has to be done.
I don't really have a lot to say. I'm just going to let Little Ed and Coach Ed kind of tell me what was the vibe like at MSG tonight. It seemed kind of quiet most of the night.
You can hear a pin drop. It was pretty brutal. Once the stall goal went in, the whole place was silent for pretty much the rest of the game. And even the second period, when there wasn't much action going on, it was just dead. I mean, that's the most disappointing thing about coming to these games when there's really high highs and really low lows. So if the team isn't doing well, I said it last time, it's very quiet in here. It's not like these other games. You see them standing on their feet the entire time. It's a little rough. I mean, I'm not going to be the only guy like the girl next to us screaming the whole time, getting a little annoying. So it's got to be a collective effort at the Garden. Otherwise, it's very quiet.
Yeah, I feel like, as fans, we're just, if the Rangers aren't winning, the crowd is just silent. It's crazy. You got to get the team into the game a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you can't blame the fans on it totally. The Rangers
They didn't do anything to get us going. Nothing. No forechecks, no hits. I mean, other than the Trouba hit center ice, I mean, there wasn't much banging them bodies around. Wasn't a lot of energy overall. I mean, even when they scored the goal, I mean, it wasn't like usually is in there. And the team was just dead overall. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what to say about Artemi Panarin and Adam Fox. Just absolutely abysmal. Not just invisible, but actively hurting the team. Panarin on that back check on the Kuznetsov goal, just complete no effort on that play. I don't know. Did he just forget that he was there, or was he not strong enough on the stick? I tried to rationalize that. I mean, Fox just has not done anything in this series. I mean, he's literally done nothing. I know he's banged up, fine, but if you're that hurt, then don't play. Then don't play if you can't contribute. I don't know. Am I being too harsh?
His decision making is definitely a little off, and that could definitely come from being injured and not having the confidence and not being able to move the way you want to move. And I said it last episode. I think Panarin's hurt too. He hasn't done that leg kick celebration in a long time. I think for a reason, because he hurt his hip 2 or 3 years ago, and now he did that celebration one time, and now all of a sudden he's slow. I'm serious.
Dude,
I think
if you're telling me you think he hurt himself with a leg kick,
if it comes out that he hurt his hip after the playoffs are over, it's because I guarantee it was because of the leg kick.
Well, either way, the team played all right through 2 periods. It was 1-0. They were right in the game. You're thinking, all right, come out hard in the third and just push the pace a little and close the series out. And it was just a complete opposite. They just turtled completely. I think they had no shots on goal for about 20 minutes between the second and third period. Not a single shot. And Jordan Staal just bullies his way to the net, ties the game. 4 goals in the third.
He was skating in sand. He was skating in slow motion.
How did he get that through?
Schneider and Miller were sleeping. The Rangers were caught in a change or something. It was just it looked like at the Garden. It looked like he was in slow motion. It was wild.
Schneider had him, and then he just deked to the right, and Miller on the stuck his stick out and wasn't strong on the stick. Multiple times, just not strong on the stick, not strong on the play in the third period. And Carolina just kind of bullied the Rangers there and extended life. And now we have to go back to Raleigh up 3-2 after being up 3-0. 2 chances to close the series out. 1 at home, failed, and 1 on the road where it was anyone's game until that late power play. And it's kind of heartbreaking in a way. I don't even know what to say. I mean, if you would have told me before the series, Little Ed, Rangers would be up 3-2 going into Game 6, I would have been cool. I would have been fine with that. But the way it's come out, I just feel like we're gonna lose game 6. You know, like it just feels like that.
I don't want to say we're going to lose game 6. I mean, I definitely didn't have a lot of confidence leaving the Garden, but I don't know. We just got to stay positive. Like you said, other than the one power play, it could have been anyone's game. And I think the important thing is, like, if they just bring the effort, they'll win the game. You know, it's not going to take much more than that. They can't solve a hot goal. They don't have to solve a hot goaltender. They don't have to solve a hot penalty kill. They don't have to solve a hot power play. They just have to bring the effort. They're a much better team. They're a faster team. They're a more skilled team. They're a bigger team. They're a more physical team, and they just don't. They didn't use any of that to their advantage.
Yeah, Mikey. I mean, did you think there's a lack of effort tonight? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I feel like the first 2 periods they gave some effort. I mean, it was just the forced plays, in my opinion. Everything was super forced. A lot of giveaways, all this cross ice stuff that they got away from like their success, what they've been doing right the first 3 games, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like in the first period, and look, again, I'm not blaming the refs. I refuse to do that because everyone does it. Every team thinks the refs suck, so it's like frustrating. But Carolina got away with a lot of holding, a lot of obstruction, a lot of interference in the first period. I mean, there were 3 to 5 plays where I was like, this is blatant. This is a blatant penalty. One was a scoring chance in front. Goodrow had a chance and he got tackled. You know, just no calls. And look, they did call it, like, I think it was power plays were 3-2. So they did call a few penalties, but that's going to favor the Hurricanes. You know, if the refs are going to call it like that, Carolina is going to have the edge in the series. I mean, they are better 5-on-5 in controlling the play. And the Rangers are opportunistic. And the power play's out of flow because of the lack of calls. And I think it just impacts the game, you know, and it sucks. It's in the first 3 games, they called 28 total penalties. In the last 2, 8. You know, and it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
I don't want to blame the refs completely, but they missed a lot of blatant calls for sure. Hook or the hold on Aaron behind the net. They hold that 9.9 times out of 10 on anybody else. But at the same time, the Rangers have plenty of time on plenty of chances on the power play to bury one and to make it a closer game. Their power play looked absolutely horrible tonight. They got to fix something. They got to change something. Like you said, Fox looked horrible. He wasn't moving. Puck on net. I hate to agree with all the fans in the Garden, but they got to get more shots on net. And they just continue to look for that perfect pass, even in the third period when they were down 2-1, 3-1. They had like 4 or 5 turnovers in a row, just trying to look for that perfect pass. I've been saying it all series before the series even started. Frederick Anderson is weak. You put pucks on him, you get in his head, you get in front of the net, he's going to fall apart, and he's going to let in a ton of goals. And they just constantly look for that perfect pass. What?
Yeah. No, I was saying all the big goals that we've scored in the series have been pucks to the net, crash the net, and create havoc. And we've beaten Anderson. Kreider's goal, Trocheck's goal, overtime goal on the Panarin tip. And tonight, just throwing it through the middle, intercepted, clear the zone, just not a good effort by the Rangers. And, you know, just not a good enough effort. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I told you guys, let's keep this short because, like, I don't want to be too negative, but, you know, this team really has, you know, if you guys are listening to this podcast, you're a big Ranger fan, you know, and you understand, like, this team has broken our hearts over the years so many times, coming close with good teams, deep runs, and it's hard not to be doom and gloom. You know, it's really hard for me not to sit here and just be like, we're going to lose in 7, you know, it's really hard. It's really hard because it's just, I don't know if they're going to come back in game 6 with a better effort. That's just a reality. Like, I've seen it before, and I don't know.
The way they ended this game, I have to agree with you. You know, they had 3 minutes to just go out there and just skate as hard as you can, hit anything you can, and they kind of just took the L and kind of put their tail in between their legs and just walked off the ice. So I got to agree with you. Fans want to know, do we enter panic mode now, or are we not there yet?
I mean, I'm always in panic mode, you know. I was in panic mode in the first period of game 4, up 3-0. So I'm with you if you're in panic mode. But look, I mean, we're still up in the series, and they got two kicks at the can here. Even if they lose game 6, the series isn't over, right? So it's not like we're facing elimination. So I think as a fan, you just got to kind of have faith that these guys have learned from previous seasons about blowing leads in series and are going to come out and give a max effort. I mean, look, my wife said during the game, you can't care more than they do. You know,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
what she said to me because I was mad. You know, she's like, you can't care more than they do. Sometimes it feels that way. You know, tonight was one of those nights where it felt that way. I'm really disappointed in the Rangers tonight. You know, their home game 5. You know, you're up 3-1. You got to close it out here. You can't. You're giving this team too much life. They're a really good team. I mean, the Hurricanes are not. It's not like the Hurricanes suck and the Rangers are, you know, up 3-0 because they're that much better than Carolina. These games, they won those games by a hair. 2 of them went to 3 overtime periods. You know, we could have lost one or 2 of those games.
How much would you put on Laviolette tonight, coming out super defensively in the third period instead of kind of putting the foot on the gas?
I mean, that's kind of what the Rangers do. Or 2-goal lead. The Rangers are all season have been a really good defensive team. They play a really strong 1-3-1, and it's really hard to create anything against them when they do that. But I just think against a team like the Hurricanes, you can't do that. I mean, they're going to beat that 1-3-1 because they play a forecheck, and that's how you beat a trap, right? You dump it in, you go get it, and you create chaos, and that's why their hashtag is cause chaos, right? That's literally their play style. So if I were the coach, I would say no, get it deep and forecheck, attack. The best defense is a good offense in that kind of a situation. So you need a little bit more of an attack mentality against the Hurricanes. You cannot turtle. If you turtle, you're going to give up goals. So you better have a 3 or 4 goal lead if you're going to turtle, not a 1 goal lead, right? So if that's what his strategy was, I just don't agree with it. I mean, look, get away with it 1 or 2 times, but yeah, they just keep coming, that team. So they're a good team. Give credit to Carolina. You know, they facing elimination 2 games in a row. They came through and, you know, showed a lot of heart, a team that their heart was questioned after they got swept by the Panthers last year, and they're down 3-0 this year. A lot of question marks around them, and give them a lot of credit. They're a good team, and they easily could win this in 7. I mean, for all you fans out there, I got people texting me, no way they win 4 in a row. Dude, they easily could. They're that good. They are a good team. So the Rangers better get it together. They got to come out, and now we got 2 nights to let this marinate. We have to go through a whole day of work on Tuesday and a Tuesday night, and then a whole day of work on Wednesday and a Wednesday night, and then a whole day of work on Thursday before the Rangers play again. So now this is going to sit and marinate. Hopefully, yeah, it sucks for us. Hopefully it's good for the team to kind of look at some video, get some practices in, and correct whatever the hell they need to correct. But for us, it sucks. It's just brutal. It's going to be a lot of negativity around this organization in the next few days. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you guys.
I'll tell you one thing. Igor looks strong. So at the end of the day, at least he's playing great. He made a lot of big saves. That game could have gotten out of control early. So
yeah, I mean, Igor was locked in. You know, Ferraro said it on the broadcast. It's going to take a lot to beat Igor in this game. He looks locked in. He was locked in. But that Stahl goal, I mean, not his fault. None of those goals are Igor's fault, guys. I mean, not a single one of them. Panarin on the Kuznetsov goal, just back-checking and gets out-muscled by Kuznetsov. Wide open net. What is Igor supposed to do? Big rebound. He can't do anything about that. You know, the first goal, Stahl just splits the D, goes wide, and he's got a long reach. Yeah. Igor extended as much as he could. How's he gonna cover that, you know? And then the third goal was a turnover behind the net. Defensive breakdown. Again, wide open in the slot, one-timer. I mean, what are you going to do? So Igor did his job. I have no issues with him. I think he's locked in. The team's just got to play a little bit with a little more intensity. You know, I thought putting Rempe in was going to kind of help that, but I don't think it did.
No, I think it kind of had the opposite effect.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, he was fine. Nothing against Rempe. I don't expect him to do much, but I expected it to kind of galvanize the group a little bit. I really thought they would have learned from last year, blowing that 2-0 lead. Apparently not, though.
Do you think fan of New York Rangers wants to know, does Wheeler get the call for Thursday?
I don't think so. I mean, he just got his non-contact jersey off today. He hasn't played in a while. I think his endurance and stamina is going to be a little questionable. So I think maybe you might see him in the third round. That spot, that Rempe spot, seems to be up in the air. Is it Hedel? Is it Brodzinski? Now you throw Wheeler into that mix. Rempe, I think Laviolette's going to kind of mix and match based on matchups and whoever's home. I think if Hedel is ready, he plays game 6. And if not, I think Brodzinski plays game 6. I don't think Wheeler's fully ready yet.
I agree. I'd play Brodzinski, Carolina.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think in Carolina, Brodzinski will play a solid 8 minutes where he won't be noticeable in any way, and that's probably as good as it's going to get out of that 12th spot, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing comments here, team playing without intensity in the playoffs is pathetic. Just me 77. I mean, yeah, it is. It's the same old story with this team. It's been watching this team for over 30 years. It's the same thing every year. It's really just difficult, bro. Like, it's just hard. It's a lot of my time. We all invest so much time into this team. We care so much. We just want them to win. And I don't care if they lose when they try, when the effort is maxed. And look, there's another team trying out there. And I know there's some people that say, don't question the effort. There's another team out there, yada, yada, yada. I'm sure they care, but there needs to be a level of anxiety in your game. It's like when I always tell people, when we go to trial as lawyers, for example, right? You go into trial with butterflies every time. You could lose. Right? Either someone's liberty or money is at stake. You gotta perform. You need to be prepared. You gotta step it. You go in with butterflies. So how do you take those butterflies? What do you do with them? Right? Do you go into trial and fold and stumble? You start stuttering when you cross-examine a witness? Do you screw up your argument? Do you not know the case law? Whatever, right? This is a lawyer example. Same thing applies. Like when there's nothing wrong with the Rangers being like, oh no, we can't go back to Carolina, but you got to take that feeling and you got to channel it into, we're not going to lose this game. Let's go. Let's bring it. And then if they lose, I can live with it because I can see it as a fan. Like, they left it on the ice. They left it out there and they lost. And that's fine. It sucks. But I'm like proud, you're like, that was an effort. Just feels like this team doesn't do that. We never have that feeling. I don't know.
You hear the Garden booing the team?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard them booing. I mean, what do you expect, dude? It's a bunch of New Yorkers. Like, look, come on. We're all New Yorkers. We all love the Rangers. We're clearly from New York. That doesn't bother me that much. I know it bothers a lot of people.
That was a big power play. Huge power play in the third period to not get one shot on goal. I get it, but I feel like maybe the fans kind of deflated the team, like, at that point. I think it was like 8 minutes left, 7 minutes left in the game, whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, listen. It was a big moment, and it was a horrible power play. And frankly, it's not like the Rangers' effort in the third didn't deserve boos. I mean, listen, I understand. We're very fickle. But Rangers, there's a reason Rangers fans love a guy like Matt Rempe, right? Like, New Yorkers, they love that, like, New York mentality is like, I'm gonna grind it out. I'm gonna work hard. It's a very old school mentality. So when the Rangers' effort is what it was in the third period, it's met with boos, and that's just the way New Yorkers are, and they're not going to apologize for that, and I don't think they should have to, because I thought that was an abysmal effort. I really do. I'm not saying I would have booed if I were at the game, but I understand it. And the Rangers know that. I mean, I'm sure they're not in the locker room like, I can't believe they booed us. Oh, these fans suck. Like, no, they know they didn't put that effort in, and they didn't show up in that third period, and they got booed, and they know it, and they're okay with it. That's why it takes a special player to play in the city. It's a very demanding city. Micah says he was booing in Indiana. I hear you. I wasn't booing. I was yelling, but
I can't. This is their second loss in the entire playoffs. So,
but they're back to back, Mikey.
It stings. I get it. It stings, but 7-2 isn't a bad record right now.
I mean, you're right on the grand scheme of it, but again, if this series was 3-2 and it was a split in MSG, a split in Raleigh, and then the Rangers won this game and they're up 3-2, we're all ecstatic. We're in this chat and we're like, Rangers are battling and, it's a hard fought. But the Rangers were up 3-0. They literally have shown up 2 games in a row now with an underwhelming performance. They battled hard in the last game after that terrible first period. I'll give them that. The second and third period, they carried a lot of the play. They got a little unlucky with some posts. And then a late power play wins it for Carolina, and they easily could have won that game. So I'll give them a lot of credit on how they showed up. I said it last episode. But tonight, I'm underwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm underwhelmed. I'm looking for a positive. Little Ed is usually the positive one. He got booted off in the tunnel and on the Long Island Railroad. So somebody give me something positive. Like I know, Mikey, you're trying, but I'm trying here. I'm trying, guys. Like it's tough. I mean, you got to just hope that the leadership,
everyone
on this
is
team,
very disappointed.
I mean, you just got to hope as a fan, like that the leadership on this team will galvanize the group in the next 2 days and say, guys, we're up 3-2. We got to win one game. We won the President's Trophy. Like, let's go out there. Let's leave it on the ice. Let's go into Raleigh. Let's take it to them. Let's leave it all on the ice, and we'll win that game. And you got to hope that they can do that. In the past, they haven't been able to. I mean, we saw it 2 years ago in the Eastern Conference Finals against Tampa. They're up 2-0. They lost 4 straight. We saw it against New Jersey last year. They're up 2-0, and they lost 4 out of 5. And here we are. We're up 3-0. We lost 2 in a row. So as fans, you can't really blame us for having a little bit of PTSD and starting to question whether they're actually going to hold on in this series. What you got to hope is that the players in the room are able to channel those past experiences and say, that's not going to happen again, right? And just perform. As you got to hope. And I'm looking at Adam Fox and Artemi Panarin, who were absolutely unacceptably abysmal tonight, both of them. Just absolutely horrible performances by both Panarin and Fox. Our 2 best players did not show up tonight. Horrible performance.
Can't do anything but agree with you, unfortunately.
Just can't win that way. You can't have your 2 best players actively hurt your team and win in the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. Zibanejad, look, he's another one, but he was pretty good tonight. I thought he was around the net. He was doing okay. He also got bullied a little. He got cross-checked. Brent Burns cross-checked him right in the back and broke his stick.
Yep.
And no call. I mean, he couldn't even get up, and then he turns it over. It leads to an odd man rush, but he literally broke his stick on his back, and they didn't call that. Whatever. I mean, playoff hockey, I guess. Little Ed, I need some positivity because I've been on a tirade here of negativity. So give me something.
We're surprised you guys are still on. I figured you'd be
I'm letting
by now.
I'm letting Cousin Eddie vent.
I'm waiting for you. Everybody agrees with me in the chat, so I need something positive, guys. Please.
I said what I had to say before, but they just got to bring the effort. If they bring the effort, they don't really have much to worry about, Coach.
Yeah, they got to, they got through the 2 periods, 1-0 on a great shorty. Killed the first penalty in the third, and then they just couple of defensive lapses, not defensive men, defensive, and gave them the game.
Listen,
Yeah.
it was a great shorthanded goal by Truba. But if that's going to be the only goal they score in the game, it's not going to work.
I mean,
Yeah,
even the effort without the goalie in that.
Yeah,
That was just an exclamation point on their trying the game.
yeah. Once that goal went in, we stood up off our seats and finished watching from up like on the bar stools or whatever. Felt guilty leaving too early, but it was a little ugly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kevin says in the chat, I didn't hear "Let's Go Rangers" once after the first goal. I mean, just a tough night, I think, for the team. They just didn't get the crowd in. I was saying before, I don't really blame the fans for booing during that power play in the third period. The New Yorkers are a fickle bunch. They've always been hard on players when they don't perform, and love them when they do, and they love effort. And the
All it
lack of
takes is
effort in the third, just you're gonna get booed.
all it takes is a little bit of sustained pressure, and the garden gets up off their feet, gives them a round of applause, whatever. Get the chance come out. Igor makes a good save. The chance come out. A little hit, anything. I mean, Rempe. I mean, I don't know if you guys talked about this already, but like Rempe getting in D'Angelo's face and D'Angelo getting in his face. I mean, is someone just going to drop the gloves at this point? I know they're afraid of taking the penalty, but I feel like they got to do something. Someone's got to do something. It's what's the point of putting Rempe in the lineup if he's not gonna? He threw like one or two hits, and they weren't even great hits.
Well, who's gonna fight him?
Who?
D'Angelo?
He keeps
challenging him. Just go after him. Take the 2 minutes if he's going to be a little baby and turtle, and set the tone.
I don't know.
Why else is Rempe in the lineup? We've been talking about it the last couple shows. He's in there to get the garden going, and there was some Rempe chance, but it wasn't nearly as loud as usual. Because every time he touched the puck, he fumbled it or did something or turned it over.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you miss a few games too. You're off a little bit.
No one did their job tonight from up and down the lineup.
Rempe's got a good 12 inches on D'Angelo, I think. I don't know.
I mean, I'd be surprised if D'Angelo accepted the fight, but he keeps getting in his face. He's got to at least dump the puck. They got to dump the puck in his corner or something with him on the ice. It's getting out of hand, Like the fans are shell shocked. The Rangers are shell shocked. They got to change the momentum somehow.
Well, they got 2 days off. So I was saying earlier, we have Tuesday to work.
Tuesday off?
Yeah, we got Tuesday to work, and then Tuesday night, Wednesday to work, and then Wednesday night, and then Thursday to work. So 3 full work days before the Rangers play again to let this all simmer and marinate. Bad for the fans, but could that be good for the team, you think?
I mean, it might kill the momentum of Carolina for sure, giving the Rangers an extra day. I mean, Laviolette has to work his magic with the rest of the coaching staff. And I see the clip of like the Road to the Winter Classic or something floating around of Laviolette with the Flyers, screaming at them in the locker room or whatever. So hopefully Laviolette just works his magic, and I think the leadership in the room is going to have something to say too. Even though they're the ones that kind of shit the bed, but they got to step it up. I don't know. Like I said, the bottom line is they just got to bring the effort. If they do, they shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Well, the bottom line also is the Carolina's third and fourth line has put in a couple of goals tonight.
That too.
Stahl and Martin, and we got nothing from the bottom six.
And they let Kuznetsov score again.
Forget the bottom six. Panarin and Fox have been absolutely horrible. We can't not talk about that. I mean, they have been absolutely bad for 2 straight games. Fox, the whole series has been bad, but Panarin I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He was good the first 7 games of the playoffs, but these last 2 just back to the same old issues. Just bad back checking, turning the puck over. I don't know. You think Carolina's doing something to cause that, or is he just off? I don't know.
Without a doubt, Carolina's not staying back. Carolina came out desperate in the third period, and they did what they needed to do. for the last 2 games, they're playing desperate, obviously. And they're going at it with everything. And Aaron's kind of just going through the same motions he was doing when they were winning. So he's got to put in that little extra step. They all do, not just him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lot faster than most of the guys on Carolina. If he moves, he's evasive. He's got to find the open ice like he did in the overtime when he scored the game winner. He's just got to, just like I said, the bottom line again, just effort. His effort wasn't there. He wasn't moving his feet. He looks a step behind all of a sudden. He looks frustrated, which probably comes from not having a lot of room to operate and not having a lot of room. Every time he touches the puck, there's a guy on him, whether they're hooking him, slashing him, tugging on him, something, you know. I mean, I can't really say the same for the Carolina Stars. I guess they controlled Svechnikov pretty well and Aho for the most part tonight. But they're not getting hit. They're not getting, like, thrown around. I think Kreider threw a decent hit on Svechnikov, but not enough. Just not enough, plain and simple.
I think it comes down to
Truba's hit was nice.
yeah, that was very nice. It comes down to sustained pressure in that zone. I'm watching that game at the end of the second. I'm watching Brett Burns, and I'm just seeing that it looks to me like he was tired. His effort, he couldn't make a lot of. He was playing a lot of special teams, a lot of ice time, and instead of them like wearing their D down, their D had free outs constantly, and there was no pressure, no hitting on the D, and they had a lot of free space.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to take it, and now a D is getting that. They're constantly reversing the puck. Carolina's putting pressure on. They don't know which way to turn, and then their forecheck right now is a little step ahead of the Rangers.
Yep.
It sure is. It sure is. And on that note, I don't know what to say. Like, we need to just wrap this up because.
Any questions in the chat before we go?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep being negative, and they're just saying bag skate the team. Rempe's a waste of personnel.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's a waste.
I mean,
It's just a lot of negativity in the chat, little Ed.
Of course.
A lot of negativity.
There's 2 games left. I like the Rangers' chances of winning one of them.
I agree.
I get it, Mike. But if it's not the same as saying like there's 2 games because the Rangers win one. Because if Carolina wins the next one, they've won 3 in a row. Yeah, and the Rangers are reeling. It's not the same as like a battle series where there's 2 games and they got to win one. I mean, the Rangers have to end this before Carolina gets all this momentum. That's the real problem, in my opinion. Series are about momentum.
Well, I think
Whatever.
that's why, like I said, the 3 days off might play in their favor because of that.
Yeah. Hopefully they can look at some tape and figure out what's going on. But this isn't really a tape issue.
No, it's an
the
effort
tape
issue.
is going to be like, look at this effort you put on this forecheck. Yeah. You need to try harder. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
hockey's a simple game if you break it down to the basics, and I think that's what they got to do. They're trying to overcomplicate things, like I said, making those extra passes that are unnecessary. They got to simplify things, break it down to the basics, and just get back to work, win the series, and move on.
All right, well, we'll see if they can do it on Thursday. We'll be back after that game, win or lose, and we'll see what happens. Until then, everyone have a good night. Enjoy the next couple of days.
Thanks for joining us after the loss. Yeah, shake it out, spit it out.
Take it easy.
Good.
Yeah.
Decompress.
Yeah.
Let's go Rangers.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.